reach the stars up in the sky. Brains and butter in the fold, a child's journey bright and bold. With the lamp of knowledge high, reach the stars up in the sky. Brains and butter in the fold, a child's journey bright and bold.
Welcome back to Brains and Butter podcast. Let's talk about what makes private schools stand out, starting with one of the biggest advantages: smaller class sizes. Research consistently shows that smaller classes lead to better academic performance. It's simple, right? With fewer students, teachers can focus more on individual needs, and students feel more involved in the learning process. I mean, who doesn't learn better when they're actually engaged? Now, there's this Nigerian family I know, great folks, who sent their daughter to a private school in the UK. She was, struggling with math back home and just couldn't quite grasp the concepts in her larger classroom. But after being in a private school with a tailored education plan and one-on-one support, everything clicked for her. Fast forward a few years and boom, she aced her GCSEs with top marks. It's incredible to see how personalized learning can literally change a child's trajectory. And honestly, this reminds me of my own time in private school. I wasn't exactly one of those naturally gifted kids. I probably drove a few teachers mad, but there was this one teacher who took the time to sit with me after class and, figure out what I enjoyed. She introduced me to creative writing, and that was the spark. Without that moment of guidance, I doubt I'd be here talking to you now. It's proof of how a little extra attention can shape not just your school years, but your entire life. Now, let's dive into what makes boarding schools unique. For starters, one of the biggest advantages is their structured routines. I mean, just look at how the day is, so meticulously planned, from early morning prep sessions to evening study halls. It's this consistency that really helps students develop discipline and stay focused academically. Studies have shown that these routines directly contribute to improved academic outcomes, and yeah, it makes sense, right? There's this story of a boy from Nigeria, I'll call him Tunde, who moved to a prestigious boarding school in the UK. Now, back home, he had a habit of, procrastinating on his homework, sort of putting things off till the last minute. But when he started at boarding school, that all changed. The environment there, with its set schedules and support, helped him manage his time better. Honestly, within just a year, his grades had skyrocketed and he became more independent and confident, the whole package. It's amazing how being immersed in that structured setting can redefine a student's approach to learning and responsibility. And this reminds me of the time I visited my cousin at a well-known boarding school in the UK. I remember walking through the campus, beautiful grounds by the way, and being struck by just how much there was going on. Rigorous academics, sports, debates, music programs, you name it. Compared to my own school experience, it was, worlds apart. You could tell that these students weren't just hitting the books. They were developing these incredible life skills: leadership, teamwork, the ability to juggle multiple priorities. It's no wonder so many boarding school alumni go on to do, incredible things. All right, so we've talked about private and boarding schools individually, but at the end of the day, the real question is, what's the best fit for your child? And honestly, there's no one-size-fits-all answer here. It really depends on what your child needs, where their passions lie, and what environment will allow them to thrive. So many parents I've spoken to say it's less about the prestige of the school and more about how well it aligns with their child's individuality. Actually, this reminds me of a friend of mine who faced a similar dilemma a couple of years ago. He and his wife couldn't decide whether to send their son to a private day school in London or an elite boarding school a couple of hours from home. Their son was this brilliant kid, especially in, music and performing arts, but he also had a bit of a shy streak. They were worried he might sort of feel lost in the boarding school environment, but at the same time, boarding school offered some incredible performing arts programs that could really help him shine. In the end, they worked with an educational consultant, someone who really understood their son's strengths and ambitions, and eventually chose the private school in London. Why? Well, it came down to giving him the best of both worlds. He'd gain access to excellent arts education while staying close to home where they could support him socially. Looking back, they call it the best decision they ever made. Their son's confidence blossomed, and now he's performing on stage in the West End. I mean, how incredible is that? So, if you're a parent trying to make this decision, the best advice I can give is to really understand your child. What drives them? What environment will help them grow, not just academically, but socially and emotionally too? Sometimes, it's worth enlisting outside help, like educational consultants, to, guide you through the process. Ultimately, a well-chosen school can do more than educate. It can shape your child's future in ways you never imagined. Talking about educational consultant Brains and Butter is definitely here to help your child. And on that note, that's all for today's episode. Thanks so much for tuning in to explore this important topic with me. I hope you found it helpful, and who knows, maybe it's given you something to think about for your own family. Until next time, stay inspired. Don't forget to take a tour of our website and social media channels for more information. Like, subscribe, share, and turn on post notification to not miss any episode.